Welcome back, guys, to Pro League. We got SK Telecom versus CJ Entis. SK Telecom up 2-0 off the two surprising victories here, and we're about to jump into Dark versus herO, the rematch of the Kespa Cup Finals.
Yeah, very possible 3-0 here for SKT. Dark versus herO, going the distance in Kespa Cup, up to Game 7. Very close match, but we'll see what happens in Pro League. herO is usually the one that's doing just does so well in Pro League. Above all else, it's like he is the ace player by far for CJ. And it's been that way for over a year now.
No surprise. Dark here, he is 9-5 in Pro League, so he's doing pretty well himself. 3-2 against Protoss. And but at the same time, herO at the top at 12-4. Definitely in a better position in terms of his Pro League wins for sure, but let's see what Dark can do here. The map's going to be EsportsTV for this ZVP.
Yeah, we saw this match actually. We saw this map played when they played in the Kespa Cup. I can't exactly remember what happened. This is so many games, such a long day, but it's pretty safe to assume that herO will be going for a lot of Stalkers with sentries and probably go to a later game. We do see later games a lot on this map, actually. Very easy 3 bases for the Protoss. Not too hard to defend compared to a lot of other maps.
These guys talking a bit in the chat. Obviously, they've met each other so many times over the course of the last month, and kind of sad, actually, for both of them. They're like, oh, man, I'm meeting you again, herO. I don't want to see you. And herO's like, well, I guess the only thing I can do at this point is stop you once again, right at the end.
Damn, that is rough, but fair. But fair. herO did become the champion of Kespa Cup off the back of herO after the slaughtered corpse of him. So, see what happens this time around.
Yes, Moonglade, violent but true.
That's what happens, man. Murder in Pro League. No, not really. But I'm interested to see what Dark's going to do this time around. Obviously, he had a lot of experience with herO in the past. Can he mix it up? Is there even a way to mix it up in this matchup currently? It's hard to say. We saw so much in Roach Hydra last time with those Viper timings, with maybe a little bit later of a transition, but when it gets too late, it just gets a little too hard in this matchup.
Let's see what both of these players have prepared for the map. Echo, Dark versus herO meeting once again. Let's jump into the game right now. Game 3 between SK Telecom T1 and CJ Entis. But first, predictions.
Yeah. And only one person going for Dark this time around. Everyone else sticking to herO. Safe choice by far.
Yeah. Then again, BL was the safe choice versus Dream, and everyone got it wrong.
No, we just have no idea what's going on today, Valdez.
Yeah. A lot of back and forth games. A lot of surprises, to be honest. herO doing his standard meditation, taking some deep breaths before the games. If it's working out, don't change it up.
Indeed, Valdez. Should be starting in just a moment's time. When these players are ready.
The votes are in. You can't vote anymore, fans. I'm very curious to see what the fans are going to think about this one, actually. To see exactly how close this one is. But guys, the game is starting right now. Let's jump into Echo for Dark versus herO. Up here in the top left, in the orange, our Zerg player from SK Telecom T1. It is Dark.
Whoa.
She's looking to make up for last week.
Down here in the bottom right, we do have the CJ Ace player, herO, champion of Kespa Cup. She put in a lot less effort. All right, what are we going to see? Looks like it's going to be Forge, Fast Expand from herO. We've seen this before from him. He likes to mix this up a lot.
Yeah. 2-player map, not a bad idea. Good way to get in the head of the Zerg. Just put him on tilt very early on in the game. He does not scout for something like this. We see Dark go for some kind of hatch first. Whoa, look at that prediction. 80% versus 20%.
Yeah, that's so surprising, too, because these guys went the distance in Kespa Cup, man. Like, Dark took a lot of games off herO already.
Yeah. I think it's just herO's one of those guys who's, like, right now, for sure, like one of the best in his race, and people just see him at a higher level than Dark. I mean, Dark is up in, I'd say, probably like at least top 3 Zergs in the world right now. So it's really hard to see that kind of prediction. But at the same time, I feel like the Korean fans especially, they just have a ton of confidence in herO right now because he comes through all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas Dark had like a little bit of a slump, not a slump, but just like a little bit of a falling off and like a little bit of a dip into his play. But
sure.
At the same, I do agree. Like, I don't think it should have been that one-sided.
Yeah. Well, it also is the fact that it is Pro League after all, and this is where herO really shines more than anywhere else. Compared to the individual leagues, herO is definitely known for his Pro League games. And we're going to see a lot of cannons go down, Valdez, because he is not building a Nexus anytime soon. He's committing to this one. For now, at least. There's a lot of drones down already, though.
See if he actually wants to. I mean, he sent that second probe home.
No, he's
then he puts down the Nexus, so.
All right, just delaying some mining. It's fair enough as well. Do some pretty decent economic damage. Certainly worth 1 pylon.
Yeah.
Always.
We do see some gas being mined by the Zerg. Just 2 in the gas. There we go. He does put 3 in. Finally, looks like it could be some pretty early speed to control the map from Dark.
Yeah, let's see what UC makes of this as well. You know, he has been scattered out that he was going for the gas. So no real early surprises should happen. He just wants to get a nice and early Ling speed, or does he want to, go for something a little bit more? We have seen like pretty early like Roach Ling timings before as well, and he's still mining.
Yeah. He doesn't make the speed. He's not committing to getting it very early. He's instead just going for straight-up units, drones, queens, overlords, before going for the upgrade.
Yeah, well, at the same time as well, he's not fully saturated in the main, so he could certainly pull the drones off if he had no intention of going for something early on. It would be a mistake, but I think we're definitely seeing aggression from Dark. It's going to be a really quick lair. Okay.
What do you think that's going to be? I mean, there are a lot of things it could be, but going up against herO on this map.
Not that many, because he's like cut his economy so much for it. He's still got a long way to go before he's even saturated his natural. So I'm thinking, could we see like a Nidus, or is it just going to be like a really quick Roach speed? I guess that would probably be the one that makes more sense than most. Just really fast Roach speed. But this probe, I could have gone into the main base and seen it. Maybe he just does see like the some of the drone count on the natural there. That is such a low drone count. That is 10 drones in this natural still. It's horrible.
He actually saw that. He's got to know something's up. He puts down a robotics facility. He's making a bunch of sentries too. Could be for his own little aggression to possibly puts down some gates and goes for some more Prism Harass, but see what he wants to do with this exactly. He's keeping his probe around. It looks like it's just going to be very early burrow.
Well, you can get that at tier 1, so I don't know why you want to get tier 2 for that. Probably wants to add in Roach speed as well, or maybe he just wants to go straight to Roach burrow movement. So avoiding the Roach speed, just going very quick burrow movement from there. Maybe from this, though, you'd probably want to get burrow movement
There
first.
we go.
Yeah. Big problem here is the fact that burrow finishes a lot quicker than burrow movement. So probably want to start with that next time. We'll see what he can do with it, though. It's going to have to be a bit of a surprise tactic. Certainly going to help out against his Warp Prism if he wants to try and force field the ramp as well.
Yeah. Makes you very safe against that for sure, but he could also put on a little bit of counter pressure. There's a cannon here at the front, of course, with that build that herO to go for. So, I mean, maybe he just takes advantage of the fact that there's not going to be a lot of units there. Or maybe he just uses it for... I don't really know at this point, Wingblade.
I think it's going to be a surprise sort of tactic. Like, he cannot get it scattered out, or if he does, like, he's going to make a move pretty early on, because the later it gets, the more useless it will be. Certainly a surprise tactic. Very aggressive.
How many observers did herO go for?
None so far.
And he's making an Immortal right off the back of this, too.
Well, Immortal's definitely the right choice, probably after an Observer there. But it is going to be the correct unit composition for this kind of style. And considering it is on 2 base as well, like, it's going to, the Roach count will not be as high as it should be. this time of the game compared to a normal third base. hero's figured it out from here, and I'm not sure what we're going to see from Dark in this sort of situation, because what can you do when this surprise build gets scattered out and he's going Immortals, the hard counter to your Roaches? I don't think you can do much.
You know, I don't know. He stopped at 44 drones for a while, and he's just making straight Roaches, so he definitely wants to get a very big Roach count up pretty early on. He's definitely not committing much to economy, but it's just not looking good. He's doing a good job of delaying this third base. He's got a Burrowed Ling as well as Overlord dropping creep.
Already 3 Immortals out. You know, there's no way 4 Roaches are going to find their way in here. He's going to see him as well. He's like, oh, well, I just can't do anything against that. I got to transition now. And it should be probably Hydras from here. Hydras and upgrades while you try and get that economy advantage.
He's like committing very heavily to delaying the third base.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. But it's not like hero's doing nothing at this point as well. He's getting +2 and Blink. So he's going to have this very scary army at the end of all things. In about another 2 minutes, he should be well on his way to destroying this kind of Roach tech, Roach harassment.
Yeah. Just kind of an awkward place now for Dark. He's just got all these Roaches that he can just do nothing with. We saw that little bit of harassment, but if it was going to be for mainly harassment, why did he make this many Roaches this early on? Is the question.
I think he was probably expecting it to not get scattered out or figured out that easily, and he was hoping like maybe hero would go for Blink, Stalker, Sentry, and then the burrow movement would make a lot more sense because he could jump up, like take down a lot of Sentry and trade a lot better against Blink Stalkers. But if you're fighting against this kind of Sentry Immortal, there's no chance of your Roaches ever doing anything on 2 base. And now we're even just seeing hero move out on the map. He might even want to make probes on that third base, just simply go up to that death ball. But we are going to see a counter-attack from Dark, and this might be one option that he has to take because he cannot afford to fight this army head-on.
And hero's going for it. He's not coming back. He's looking to just delay here with the cannons and make some, you know, warp in some units and trying to fight straight up against these Roaches. Robotics Facility is going to go unpowered now. Nope. And that +2 is being threatened.
He recalled back with just the Mothership Core, actually. And he's using Photon Overcharge at the same time. He's fighting Hydra at the top of the ramp. He's got no way to reinforce with this army, so Fury really committing a lot here.
It wants to put on that counter damage at the same time, but there's not much here. Just a lot of Sentries, some Immortals as well, but the Hydras are going to be able to help that out. Finally, these Roaches getting into the third base, also burning into the main, trying to get more of that harass down.
He's actually getting a lot of probes in this natural. But certainly Dark took the worst of trade there, losing so many drones. About 15, I think it was, in that third base. Does have that composition though, with the Hydras added in. He should be okay against what we see from hero.
And he was still actually getting damage done for quite a while. 11 probes go down. It puts hero down to 46 on 3 base, so he's going to have to get that back up on his 3 base if he wants to get fully saturated once again. Dark looking to put on more pressure now.
Yeah, very scrappy game from Dark. He's just really keeping that low economy compared to what we normally see from Zergs against Protoss. He just wants to trade. He wants to make sure this third base isn't up and running as much as it should be. And he's even going to try and trade with this army. It's going to be a tough one with this many Force Fields and this many Immortals.
Yeah, I don't really agree with this. And look at this. He's got Blink now, so he can chase.
He can chase and he can kill all these units. These Hydras don't have speed.
Uh-oh. Maybe Dark choosing to be a little bit too scrappy.
He's
going to pay for it. Look at all these Hydras go down.
Yeah. He droned way too hard at his third base. He's like 10 drones too many. He could have been making units with that Larvae. And now look at the bank.
Yeah, look at the bank. What? Just very interesting game so far from Dark. And hero's looking to take advantage of this position. Maybe just force field off that third base and go straight into the main. The natural first. And he's got just chokehold on what Dark's got here.
Yeah, way too many units. Too many force fields left over as well, plus those 3 Immortals. There's no way you're going to engage this army very conveniently. You're going to try up that ramp, you're going to get force fielded off and lose half those units. There's nothing in the main base to stop them going up there either.
Now he can just blink up, put a force field down. If he wants to fight with only his roaches against even all of those blink stalkers and the 3 immortals, he's going to be fighting a losing battle. He's lost his natural. He's going to lose his main.
Looks like Doc's going to commit to a counterattack from here, but I mean, there's nothing much he can really do at this point. I'm sure here he's going to catch on pretty quickly. Just warp in at home from now on.
Yeah, Mothership Core trying to get back. Looks like he should be able to.
Yeah.
Put down a Photon Overcharge, warp in some more units. He is supply blocked, but he's cleaned up everything in the main. He could even just run back at this point. He won't even lose that much.
Well, he can just keep warping in as well, and he should eventually clean it up. When you're fighting like no economy Dark, it's going to be a pretty easy game from there.
Dark desperately trying to get up a bunch of spine crawlers to defend his third base, fighting with all of his drones right now, trying to go for a bit of a surround even. But GG, herO will be able to win the game and pull CJ Antis back into this.
It's all going to come down to Ragnarok against Sue if they want to try and get it to an ace match.
Oh boy.
Big match for Ragnarok, man. A young player who's he's been finding games here and there, and now he's going to have to take down one of these great experienced players, Sue, in a ZVZ.
Immense amount of pressure on this guy right now. herO, he does his job, but if CJ Antis wants to get into that ace match, Ragnarok's going to somehow have to take a game in a ZVZ against Sue.
Yep, on Expedition loss, so it's a pretty interesting map for the ZVZ. I always find this map to be pretty tricky, especially when those back doors get opened up. It gets really scrappy. But let's see what he does, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
He's looking in good spirits, looking like he's ready for a good match.
Yeah, not looking too nervous. Sue, always a treat to watch. You know, one of our favorite players over here on the casting desk, and Ragnarok, a good friend as well. So it's a very interesting match we're about to jump into.
Oh.
I want to see Ragnarok win because I want to see an ace match.
Yeah, we need to see an ace match today, Valdez, especially against these teams. Like, such a good matchup, such great games already, and you know, an ace match would just be icing on the cake, man.
Got to see an ace match for Ace Match Mondays.
Pretty interesting style from Dark, mind you. Like that 2-base, very quick borrowed roach movement. Definitely designed for Blinkstalker Sentry expands, like a Sentry heavy sort of expands more than anything else because they are so low on units that early on. If you get borrowed movement out, you jump on top of them, you can maybe even win the game from there if you can cancel that third base. But not if herO figures it out early enough, makes immortals, and crushes you.
That's for sure. Just one small probe scout will do it. The best of the best can sniff it out very easily. Kind of reminds me of when Maru saw the scout on stats trying to go for a hidden base in the top left of, I think it was Cactus Valley. He saw that the gases were slightly late at the natural, and he's like, "You've got a hidden base. I just know it."
Yeah.
They can tell.